Paul, you agreed to host the ReAwaken America Tour here on your property. Why did you choose to do that, and what do you hope the outcome will be?
Well, I guess amongst other things, I'm tired of seeing events being canceled because they have a conservative Christian bent to them, and I've just never seen anything like that in my lifetime. And when they approached me, it was an easy decision for me. What do I hope to see? I hope to see that the fear comes out of the Christian community, that they don't have to be intimidated by the cancel culture, that their voices matter. As a matter of fact, the Christian voice is the voice that gave the input to found this country. And for some reason, it's being canceled out. And I think people want to kind of recharge and get back to their roots and get back to basics of believing in God, believing that America was God's idea in the first place. Why would we want to cancel the voice of the very one that started this country? It just doesn't make any sense to me. And, we can say nothing. If we say nothing, then I think they'll just keep taking ground until the churches really become irrelevant. And I'd like to see relevancy come back to the Christian voice, and that it's not illegal, or that it's actually good for the country to speak up. America is not a welcoming, tolerant nation in spite of Christianity. It's because of Christianity. It's why there's so many multiple different ethnicities in America. It's because of the way that we are. And so I'd like to see the narrative change, because it seems like mainstream media and big tech media and Hollywood, they own the narrative. And this is one of the few venues that we have left to say, hey, we still have a voice. Let's wake up.
Why do you think some churches are so resistant to this idea?
I think twofold. I think number one, fear, because, and I can vouch for it, because 5 minutes after I agreed to the event, the media found out, and all of the attacks on our church, and even me personally, came. So you've got to have some thick skin for that. But also, I think there are churches that have bought into the narrative. I think that they don't look any different than the culture, and they don't want to make any waves. But in doing that, they give rights away. And again, we don't have a voice of Christianity anymore. We have a voice of the culture. And I think that it's time for the church to stand. Of course, then you've got the whole churches need to stay out of politics argument. But to me, it seems like the politicians have taken the issues of the church and made it theirs. And I'd like to see those issues go back to the church. Stop calling them politics. Stop calling when a needle goes into my child's arm politics. That's a decision that parents should be able to make. What's being taught in schools, that's not politics to me. And so I think that it's just time for us to stop buying into the narrative and the intimidation.
It's interesting, you're talking really a little bit about church and state. And the way I read it, that was not intended for it was intended for the state to stay out of the church,
Sure.
Not the other way around. Yeah. Why do you think that people aren't aware of that?
They pulled that statement out of I believe a letter that Thomas Jefferson wrote, and it's almost like a soundbite. They don't read the rest of it. They take it out of context. But the more that I talk to media and more that I listen to the attacks, basically what it is, they want the church to be quiet. That's why they pull that card. Number one, it's not correct. The First Amendment says we have freedom of religion, freedom to speak, freedom to assemble. And the Constitution supersedes any other law. A governor law, some mandate. The Constitution binds our government into it's the chains of the Constitution. That's what the writers, that's the writers of the Constitution intended. They knew the tendency of man, that if they end up with too much power, now it's a law. We're a country ruled by man versus by laws, and so they made sure those were there. And so we're doing nothing illegal. As a matter of fact, those government leaders that try and shut this down, they're the ones that are doing so. They're breaking the Constitution, and a few of us want to stand up to that.
And despite some misunderstanding and or misinformation, would you ever be associated with anything that would be denigrating any group of people?
I tell you what, if you ask my congregation that, which they already have, it insults them, because my congregation is multi-ethnics. My youth pastor is African American. We just got done with 8 straight meetings of revival meetings. We saw dozens of salvations, browns, whites, blacks, all coming to the Lord. They're hungry for the Lord. We are a church that loves people. We show it. We don't just talk about it. We walk it out with our outreaches. Many know that we were one of the first churches on the scene at that top shooting. We set up tables to reach out to the African American community. We were handing out food and new clothes and household goods, praying for people, crying with them, and they begged us to come back, and we did. We were there all week. We continue to go back up there. We made wonderful connections. It's what we're about. To me, it's the Christian experience. It's what Christians are. We look at people the way Christ looks at us, and that's what we try and live out. So it is the opposite of that.
That's great, Paul. Thanks so much for your time. Thanks for hosting the event today.
Thank you, Renee.
Thank you.